It was revealed in the last season of Game of Thrones that Jon Snow, played by Kit Harington, was in fact the son of Lyanna Stark and Aegon Targaryen. This shocking reveal now means that Jon has more of a claim to the throne than Daenerys Targaryen, Emilia Clarke, who is in fact his aunt. Despite the fact that no one yet knows about this truth other than Bran Stark, Isaac Hempstead writes, fans are convinced that Jon will ultimately win the Game of Thrones. However, as Bran is the only person who witnessed Jon's birth, he now controls the narrative of his parentage. And one fan on Reddit believes that Jon may have not been the only child to be born that day. The fan theorized, what if Jon was a twin? Before Ned Stark got to the tower where Lyanna gave birth, maybe the twin was born first and inherited their father's genes of the Targaryen. Sick. If this were the case, the firstborn child would have the naturally blonde hair, like Daenerys, and her brother. This would lead to a complication if Ned Stark, Sean Bean, were to take the children from her to protect them from the wrath of Lyanna's suitor Robert Baratheon. Mark Addy. The fan continued, Lyanna knew that Ned couldn't pass the child S's, so she sent that child away. But Jon having darker hair and eyes meant that Ned could raise him as his own child. Jon's theorized sibling would also give more meaning to the book's title, The Song of Ice and Fire, says the Redditor. They also added, if this were to happen, then Jon could remain as King of the North and his twin, being the firstborn of the two, could sit on the Iron Throne. Sick. This rumor follows the theory that Davos Seaworth, Liam Cunningham, was really the person to bring Jon back from the dead last season. A fan wrote, when watching Melisandre trying to bring back Jon, she didn't have the same conviction. They wrote she was just trying to see what she could do. It didn't matter to her if Jon was dead. She was not trying to bring back one of her friends. She had already given up on Jon, saying that the Lord of the Light had lied to her. They continued, my theory is that Davos is really the person that brought Jon back to life. Davos walks up to Jon's body and I think he prays to the Lord of the Light and asks him to bring back his friend. Just a few seconds later Jon wakes up. I think to be able to bring someone back they have to be someone that you really care for. Does this mean Davos will use his supposed power to bring someone else back to life next season? Game of Thrones Season 8 will return to HBO and Sky Atlantic in 2019. Seasons 1 to 7 are currently streaming on Now TV.